Success is not built in a single day, but in the daily habits and disciplines that shape your life over time. When you look at those who have achieved greatness in their personal or professional lives, it's easy to think they simply had a breakthrough moment, one stroke of luck, or one opportunity that changed everything. But the truth is, behind every breakthrough, behind every seemingly overnight success, there are years of small, consistent actions that created the foundation. Success is not about massive leaps made once in a while. It's about small steps taken every single day, even when no one is watching, even when no one applauds, even when the results are not immediate. These daily disciplines may feel insignificant in the moment, but they compound over time to shape your character, your mindset, your skills, and ultimately, your destiny. Think about it. Every choice you make, every habit you repeat, every action you take builds momentum in one direction or another. You are either moving closer to your goals or further away from them. There is no such thing as standing still because life is always moving, and with every decision, you are planting seeds. Some seeds will grow into success, peace, and prosperity, while others, if left unchecked, will grow into distraction, failure, and regret. The power of daily habits is that they put you in control of what kind of harvest you want to reap tomorrow. What you repeatedly do becomes what you repeatedly get. Discipline is often misunderstood. People think of discipline as restrictive or harsh, but true discipline is actually freedom. It is freedom from chaos, freedom from wasted time, freedom from regrets. When you create daily disciplines, whether that's waking up early, exercising, reading, planning your day, or practicing gratitude, you're setting yourself free from the distractions and traps that keep most people stuck. Discipline is simply choosing long-term gain over short-term comfort. It is saying no to what feels easy right now so you can say yes to what you truly desire later. The secret to building these habits is not trying to do everything at once, but starting small and being consistent. For example, if you want to be healthier, you don't need to spend 3 hours in the gym on the first day. You start by committing to 20 minutes of movement daily. If you want to grow spiritually, you don't need to read 10 chapters of scripture at once. You start with a verse or two and let it guide you throughout your day. If you want to master a skill, you don't need to study for 10 hours straight. You commit to 30 minutes daily. Small, manageable actions practiced daily will always outperform occasional bursts of effort fueled by emotion or guilt. Another key part of daily habits is mindset. The way you think each day influences the way you act, and the way you act influences the results you see. If your mind is filled with negativity, doubt, and fear, then your habits will reflect that. You will procrastinate, self-sabotage, or settle for less. But if your mind is filled with faith, clarity, and vision, your daily actions will align with a higher purpose. That's why one of the most important daily habits is feeding your mind with positive, empowering, and truthful thoughts. This could be through prayer, affirmations, journaling, or listening to inspiring messages. Your daily intake shapes your daily output. We also have to recognize that consistency is more important than motivation. Motivation may get you started, but it is discipline and consistency that keep you going. You won't always feel like waking up early. You won't always feel like working on your goals. You won't always feel like saying no to temptations. But feelings are not what shape your life. Actions are. The beauty of daily discipline is that once something becomes a habit, it no longer requires as much willpower. It becomes a natural part of your routine, almost automatic, and that is when true transformation begins. Consider some of the greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders in history. Their success didn't happen because they were constantly motivated. It happened because they built systems and routines that allowed them to succeed regardless of how they felt. They trained their minds and bodies daily, they stuck to a schedule, they avoided unnecessary distractions, and they prioritized growth. Success is simply the reward of doing what others are unwilling to do consistently. But building daily habits for success isn't just about discipline in work. It's also about discipline in rest. Success requires balance. You cannot run at full speed without recharging your body, mind, and spirit. Daily success habits include not only working hard, but also resting deeply, eating nourishing foods, staying hydrated, practicing gratitude, and spending time with loved ones. A truly successful life is not just about money or achievements. It's about living with peace, joy, and fulfillment. And those things come from balance, not burnout. Your daily routine is a reflection of your values. If you value health, your routine will include exercise and proper nutrition. If you value wisdom, your routine will include reading, studying, and reflection. If you value family, your routine will include intentional time with loved ones. Success is not an accident. It is the fruit of alignment between what you say you value and what you actually do daily. When your habits and values align, your life becomes meaningful, purposeful, and successful. Another important element of building daily habits for success is protecting your environment. The people you surround yourself with, the places you spend your time, and the content you consume daily all influence your habits. If you surround yourself with negativity, laziness, and chaos, it will eventually drag you down. But if you surround yourself with positivity, discipline, and focus, it will elevate you. Your environment is either fueling your habits or draining them, so you must be intentional about where you place yourself and who you give your time and attention to each day. It's also important to celebrate small wins along the way. When you build daily habits, you may not see the results immediately. It can feel discouraging to keep showing up without seeing progress. But remember, every great achievement is the result of accumulated small wins. If you wrote 1 page a day in a year, you would have a book. If you saved a small amount of money daily in a year, you would have financial growth. If you walked 10,000 steps every day in a year, you would have transformed your health. The little things add up. A successful life is simply the sum of daily victories repeated over and over again. There will be challenges. There will be setbacks. There will be days when you fall short. But the beauty of daily habits is that one bad day doesn't ruin the process. If you miss a day, you simply get back on track the next day. Success is not about perfection. It's about persistence. The key is not to quit, not to let one failure define you, not to let one mistake stop your momentum. Daily success habits allow you to bounce back quickly because you have a system in place. As you build these habits, remind yourself that you are not just building a routine, you are building a future. Every morning you choose discipline, you are shaping your destiny. Every evening you reflect on your actions, you are designing your tomorrow. Success is not something you wait for. It is something you create with your daily actions. Success is not built in a single day, but in the daily habits and disciplines that shape your life over time. This truth should encourage you because it means success is within your control. You don't need to wait for the perfect opportunity or for everything to align. You can start right now, today, by adjusting your habits, by making intentional choices, by taking small steps toward your vision. Every day is an opportunity to practice success, to live with discipline, and to move closer to the life you desire. A purposeful morning, intentional work ethic, and consistent reflection create momentum toward long-term achievement. When you begin your day with purpose, you send a message not only to your mind, but also to your spirit and your future. A purposeful morning is not about waking up early just for the sake of it, but about waking up with clarity, direction, and intention. It's about starting the day with rituals and practices that align you with who you want to become. If your first thoughts are chaotic, distracted, or unplanned, you spend your day reacting to life rather than leading it. But when you choose to set a tone of gratitude, focus, and order in the morning, you prepare yourself for greater victories throughout the day. Think about the way a seed grows into a tree. The seed does not become a tree in one day, but the way it is nurtured every day determines whether it will ever become strong, fruitful, and lasting. Your mornings are like the soil where you plant the seeds of your future. If you fill them with negativity, disorder, and procrastination, you starve your future of growth. But if you begin each morning with prayer, gratitude, vision, and action, you plant seeds that, over time, become the roots of success. A purposeful morning is one of the most powerful gifts you can give yourself. It is a reminder that life is not about drifting. it is about designing. Once the day has begun with purpose, the next step is an intentional work ethic. Success is not given to those who simply wish for it. It is achieved by those who are willing to put in the effort when others are distracted, lazy, or waiting for opportunities to fall into their laps. Intentional work ethic means you approach your tasks with focus and discipline rather than just going through the motions. It means doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it, and doing it well, not because someone is watching, but because excellence is a commitment you make to yourself. Intentional work ethic is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. You can have the greatest vision, the most inspiring goals, and the strongest desire, but if you do not back it with consistent, intentional effort, your vision will remain just a dream. Discipline builds momentum, and momentum builds results. Every small action compounds over time, and the more consistently you show up for your work, the more opportunities you create for yourself. What many people call luck is often the result of years of intentional work ethic, meeting the right opportunity at the right time. But life is not just about working endlessly. Consistent reflection is what ensures your work has meaning, direction, and growth. Without reflection, you can end up running hard in the wrong direction, investing energy into things that don't align with your deeper purpose. Reflection allows you to pause, examine your journey, and adjust where necessary. It gives you clarity on what's working and what needs to change. Reflection is not about regret, it is about wisdom. It is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Through reflection, you begin to notice the patterns in your own behavior. You see where you are wasting time, where you are neglecting your strengths, and where you can grow further. Reflection is also an act of gratitude. It allows you to acknowledge how far you've come and the lessons you've gained from every season. This awareness not only fuels motivation, but also prevents you from repeating the same mistakes. Consistent reflection is the key that turns daily action into long-term growth. When you combine these three, purposeful mornings, intentional work ethic, and consistent reflection, you create unstoppable momentum. Momentum is what carries you through difficult days, when motivation is low or when obstacles stand in your way. Momentum is what makes discipline easier because your small victories stack up and push you forward. Momentum is the invisible force that keeps you consistent when others give up. And momentum does not happen by accident. It is built through deliberate daily choices. Think about the people you admire most, the ones who achieve greatness in their careers, their relationships, or their personal growth. Their success is not the product of random bursts of effort, but of consistent habits carried out day after day. They know the power of starting each morning with intention. They know that work done with focus and excellence is never wasted. They know that reflection sharpens wisdom and prevents stagnation. Over time, their lives become a testament to the truth that consistency compounds. Your life will not be defined by one big moment, but by thousands of small decisions made daily. The decision to wake up with purpose, the decision to do your work with excellence, the decision to pause, reflect, and redirect when necessary. These are the building blocks of long-term achievement. Success is not a mystery, nor is it reserved for a chosen few. It is the result of patterns, habits, and disciplines practiced consistently. The world often glorifies overnight success, but the truth is that true achievement comes slowly, like the sunrise. It may begin in the dark, with little visible progress, but each consistent step brings more light, more growth, and more fulfillment. A purposeful morning trains your mind to lead your day. An intentional work ethic ensures you give your best in all you do. Consistent reflection guarantees that your steps align with your deeper vision. Together, they create momentum that builds the life you were meant to live. Do not underestimate the power of one purposeful morning, one focused effort, or one moment of reflection. Each is a drop of water filling the ocean of your destiny. Over time, they shape you, strengthen you, and move you toward greatness. Success is not built in grand gestures, but in the daily choice to live with purpose, work with focus, and reflect with wisdom. When you master these, momentum carries you into achievements you once thought were impossible. Success is less about talent and more about structure, consistency, and aligning your routine with your vision. Talent can be a gift, but without direction, it is often wasted. A person may be incredibly skilled, but if they lack the discipline to show up every day, the organization to prioritize what matters most, and the resilience to push through resistance, that talent may never see the light of day. On the other hand, someone with average skills but exceptional structure and discipline can often outperform the naturally talented simply because they learned how to use their time, energy, and focus wisely. Success does not just appear overnight. It is cultivated through the quiet, repetitive actions that most people overlook. Structure is the foundation of this process. It is the framework that supports your vision and keeps your life aligned with your goals. Without structure, your days drift into chaos and opportunities slip through your fingers because you are not prepared to receive them. Structure means having clarity about what matters, setting priorities, and creating systems that allow you to operate efficiently. It is the invisible architecture behind every achievement, guiding your energy toward meaningful pursuits instead of scattering it across distractions. For instance, when you structure your day to begin with purposeful rituals, whether it is prayer, journaling, exercise, or reading, you set the tone for everything that follows. Those morning habits form a structure that empowers your mind to focus and your body to act with energy. Similarly, ending your day with reflection and planning gives you the stability to approach tomorrow with confidence instead of confusion. Consistency builds upon structure. You can have the perfect plan, but if you only follow it sporadically, it produces no real results. Success is about showing up daily, even when you do not feel like it, even when it is inconvenient, even when progress seems invisible. The most accomplished people in the world are not necessarily the most gifted, but they are the ones who mastered the art of consistency. Consistency compounds. Every small action repeated daily, reading 10 pages, practicing your craft for 1 hour, exercising for 30 minutes, writing in your journal, adds up over time. At first, it feels small and insignificant, but over weeks, months, and years, those actions build momentum that cannot be ignored. The world begins to notice not just your talent, but your reliability, your credibility, and your resilience. This is where alignment with vision becomes essential. A structured life without vision is rigid but directionless. Consistency without vision can turn into an endless grind that leads nowhere meaningful. Vision gives purpose to structure and energy to consistency. It is the reason behind your discipline and the inspiration behind your habits. When you align your daily routine with your long-term vision, every action has meaning. Your morning is no longer random, it is intentional. Your work ethic is no longer about checking off tasks, it is about moving closer to the life you are called to build. Your reflection at night is not just reviewing activities, but measuring whether those activities aligned with your deeper purpose. Vision also protects you from distractions. When you know where you are going, it becomes easier to say no to what does not serve you. You stop chasing temporary pleasures that sabotage your progress because you are anchored to something greater. Vision transforms discipline from a burden into a joy. It no longer feels like punishment to wake up early, to practice when others are sleeping, or to sacrifice entertainment for progress because you know why you are doing it. Every moment becomes a seed planted toward a future harvest.